What's going on, comic fans? It is Mike from the Hardcover Comic here today. We're going to do a little overview. Talk about it's going to be more of a review because I've read this story and I think I can speak on it more than enough at this point. It is Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. We're going to look at the absolute, which I have in front of me. Get into the details of it, let you see the table of contents, bonus content, artwork within the book, all that. I'm very excited about this. This is a Frank Miller, Brian Azzarello story with artwork by Andy Kubert. Deluxe came out, I think it was about sometime last year, maybe this year even. Still available from what I've seen. It's great. It's about 600 pages and it's really well put together. But before we get into the details of that, which we definitely will, if you haven't already subscribed, this is what we do, reviews, overviews. Like I've said in previous videos, and Matt and I have both said in previous videos, a lot of our material now is going to be custom binding because that's what we've really started to love more and more and more as we continue to do it. So a few official releases here and there. I still love myself an Absolute Edition or a reasonably priced omnibus, so we'll see what happens, but let's get into this thing. Taking a look at the hardcover itself, here's the slipcase, got that nice Andy Kubert artwork on the front. I must say, I'm really a big fan of Andy Kubert. I think DC did a great job with the design of this book overall. Got the spine here, really nice, bold letters. It does look different from the, Dark Knight Absolute that came out initially, which collected Dark Knight Returns and Strikes Again. On the back here, you got got Superman and Lara. Really enjoyed this book. Let's take a look at the actual hardcover itself here. Pretty simple design. They just got black with the white sort of shaded Andy Kubert cover. I think this was issue 1. Really nice. It's nice though. It looks really great. Gives you that Sin City vibe. With Frank Miller attached to this, and on the back it's just black. Flipping through it, gonna take a look at the table of contents, all that fun stuff. This book is put together really well. The production is fantastic. I really like the way they did the table of contents. And then as for the build itself, it's fantastic. It's really well put together. The binding, it seems very strong. The paper is thick, nice, high quality. Take a look at the table of contents here. You get about 624 pages total in this bad boy. And a good chunk of it is covers and really cool bonus material. So the series, the mini-series ran for 9 issues. You can see it's already staying open. It ran for 9 issues. And basically you had the main issue written by Brian Azzarello, Frank Miller, with artwork by Andy Kubert. And then you'd have this sort of backup story, which would be a sort of a Dark Knight Universe Presents sort of thing, which would focus on different characters, and it did progress the story as well. So that's all collected in here. When the initial comics were coming out, those Dark Knight Universe Presents stories were actually about half the size of a regular comic. They were like these mini comics at the back of the full comic. But what they did here is they blew it up full size. You get it the same size as the Absolute, the regular issue, I guess I should say. The only thing about it is most of them are drawn by Frank Miller, so if you're not a big fan of Frank Miller's artwork, you're probably not going to like the art on these. I didn't mind it. There are some issues that are better than others. Here we're looking at the Atom one, which is not bad. The artwork's not terrible. It's not as goofy and as crazy and as exaggerated as Frank Miller got in Dark Knight Strikes Again. But it's still not great. We'll see another one later where it's not so hot. The Andy Kubert artwork throughout the main story is brilliant. I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. And as for the story itself, you're sort of looking at, Bottle City of Kandor, Return of Batman, things like that. Carrie's back in this, of course. Great character. You get to see Superman. You get to see all the characters we've seen in the Dark Knight universe so far sort of come back as they deal with this sort of master race that's trying to rise up. A lot of Wonder Woman in here as well, which is fantastic. Here we see another one of those Dark Knight Universe Presents. This one was drawn by Eduardo Risso. Doesn't look that bad, although it's not. He's got a specific style. I don't necessarily think it works for a Wonder Woman based mini story, but it's what it is. I really liked the main story. I thought it was well done. I think Brian Azzarello really tempered down the craziness of Frank Miller and made the story really readable and digestible and enjoyable. There's some really incredible dialogue in here, some really epic exposition that works very, very, very well. I thought the story was interesting. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I kept wanting to figure out what's going to happen next. So here you can see this sort of Green Lantern mini, and this is probably the ugliest one in the whole book. I think John Romita Jr. did the breakdowns for this one, and then Frank Miller penciled it. It's not. I mean, it's tough to look at. Thankfully, the stories are short; they're pretty quick to run through, and it's nice to see what Hal is doing in the Dark Knight universe. So I want to flip to another one here, show you guys sort of the changing arts. Here's another one drawn by Frank Miller. I mean, it's not incredible, but it's not bad. Like, it's kind of cool to know this guy who, has had a lot of health issues, and he's still able to get this drawing done. It's fantastic. I'm really happy. And overall, this story really did redeem Frank Miller for me after The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Here we got this sort of Last Crusade issue, which was a one-shot drawn by John Romita Jr., written by Azzarello and Miller as well. Not a big fan of the Romita artwork, so it wasn't great, but it's sort of a flashback to when Robin was around and Batman and Robin were together, and you get to see more characters, Killer Croc, Poison Ivy. Really, not bad, not great, not as good as the main series, but a decent one-shot. In the back here, you get like close to 100 pages worth of covers and artwork. This series, of course, had a slew of variant covers, and you get to see them full color here. You get to see a lot of them in black and white, pencil work, ink work. Really, really well done, with a lot of phenomenal artists getting sort of the spotlight here. Of course, guys like Klaus Janson, the Frank Miller covers are all in there. A lot of Jim Lee covers. It's really, really good. I think they collected all of them, and again, you get to see the pencil work, which is amazing. Jim Lee pencil work is always great. Great covers by Raphael Albuquerque, a few in there by Brian Bolland, Frank Quitely, Jason Fabok, a whole bunch of Greg Capullo ones, and a variety of other artists. I mean, there are so many. Lee Bermejo, Gabriel Del Otto, his covers are unreal. It's unbelievable how beautiful they are. Look at these things. Stunning. So good. So good. I love his artwork. I wish I could afford a commission from him. I'm sure it's crazy expensive, but would be stunning. Yeah, really great that they added all this bonus content. I personally was a huge fan, flipping through a lot of it, because, this is a universe we've only seen really drawn by Frank Miller and now Andy Kubert. So it's really cool to see other artists' takes on it. In the back here, you get sort of a sketchbook by Andy Kubert, so sort of character designs and cover ideas, and some breakdowns and some page layouts, things like that. Really, really cool. A lot of nice bonus content in here, in my opinion. And then in the back, you just get some info on the writers. Hope you all enjoyed. Let us know what you think of this title down below. I'm very curious to know what other people think of Dark Knight 3. Did you pick up the Absolute? Will you pick up the Absolute now? I highly recommend you do. It's a great, great book. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. This is what we do on a regular basis: reviews, overviews, hauls, live streams, custom bind videos, whatever comes to mind for Matt and myself. Check out our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get the opportunity to win an Omnibus, Absolute Edition, Deluxe Editions, multiple. A lot of fun stuff going on there. Check it out. There's a link down in the description below, and you've also seen it on the screen just now. And yeah, hope you guys are all doing well. Stay safe and sound out there, people. This is Mike from the Hardcover Comic. Hope to see you all again soon. Until next time, you stay classy, Internet.